guys, if you in the chat there, if you want to know how serious missing the playoffs is, this is what LeBron James in basketball has missed it like once, I think. This is his first time, or at least first time in a long time. And he is vowing to never miss the playoffs again while he's still playing. That's how serious it is, man. Right? Without playoffs, the season is a waste. It feels like an utter waste. Nothing's good. You don't feel good about it, right? So, as Leslie knows, we've seen it. We're vintage. We've seen those time periods. Let me tell you, it's always better to be in the playoffs. And right now, we are just cruising until then, right? Shalgren looked huge in that shootout, man. Both goalies. I mean, again, metaphoric hats off to Washington and their team tonight. I thought they played a great game. And I thought their goalie did very well in that shootout as well. Look, okay, guys, that first shooter to come in for Washington, let me know what you guys think about that. Okay, Leslie? And specifically, I want to hear, if I can, I want to hear from people that like shootouts. Like, if you don't like a shootout, right? If you don't like shootouts, then you're not going to like any of these moves, really. But if you like shootouts, tell me if you like that first one from Washington there to start the whole thing off. All right? Because me personally, I can't stand those kind of shootout shots. The slowing it right down, take it forever to finally make a move. Because I feel like if you're halfway decent with your hands even, that's got to be way easier. And I don't get why more players don't do it, to be honest. If they're going to allow it, then I say do it, right? I hate watching it. I think they should put in a shot clock for the shootout. I think you should get 5 seconds, right? 5 seconds or something like that from the time they blow the whistle for you to scoop up that puck, or from the time you touch the puck even. I'll even give you that. You do that whole wind-up circle thing, but for the moment you touch the puck, I think you should have 5 seconds or 3 seconds or something. You know what I mean? Give me a shot clock on the shootouts. I think that would make it a lot better, and you wouldn't get such crazy stuff like that, right? So again, let me know what you guys think about that move. Okay, because then right after that, you got Spezza in the shootout, and Spezza does exactly what I love about a shootout. You know what I mean? Spezza does exactly the kind of goal I want to see in a shootout. All right? Flying in there, looking all good, flip it to the backhand, boom, top cheese. Like, Jason frickin' Spezza, right? Right? So, come on now, you know what I mean? Oh, you're saying in the chat it's third time missing the playoffs for LeBron. Okay, third time missing it. Is that consecutively? Not, right? Like, I don't know what's going on in basketball. I'm sorry, but that's not consecutively, right? I guess that's 3 times he's missed the playoffs altogether. The point is, right? It really doesn't take much for LeBron to get upset about missing the playoffs, right? So that's how important it is. So every time the Leafs are in, I'm like, yes, I am happy. From here on out, I'm happy. Win, lose, whatever. We're in the playoffs. We get to see some action that means something. Some real awesome stuff. So I'm all for it, man. I found that none of the top scorers for the Leafs were scoring tonight. Hey, how about that? Let me know in the chat what you guys thought about that. That none of the top scorers were lighting it up again for the Leafs, you know? And some people might think that's a problem. Maybe it is a problem. I don't know. I know notoriously for the past few years, our main stars have never been able to really click the way they do in the regular season when it comes to the playoffs. That is a problem. We know that. We've seen the past. We get it. But I think these guys can do it, man. I think these guys can do it. And, the point is, even if the main guys don't score, we finally have an even better core, even better scoring depth that straight up, if we can get through the first series without Austin Matthews really scoring, without Mitch Marner scoring, that's what they should be aiming for. Like, be prepared to win that way, right? Because who cares? Who cares? If you get them past that first round, I'm telling you, something will click. And it'll all go well, right? There's a few goals called back tonight. You guys can let me know if you thought that those were bogus. Which one was more bogus? I don't know what. Personally, in a game like this, both teams are in. There's nothing to lose. There's nothing to gain, really. Maybe home ice advantage, but we'll get into that in a second, I guess. But there's really not much to gain from this. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really matter to me. Goals got called back. If you won, if you lost, whatever, it doesn't really matter. And certainly with goals and referees, like sometimes their calls are going to go your way and sometimes there's not. I've seen goals that I definitely think shouldn't have been called and that were called, but it was called for Toronto. And I'm like, well, I'm still happy. You know what I mean? Like, for the integrity of the game, I might not like a call, but as a Leafs fan, it went my way. So I'm going to just thank the hockey gods that a bad call went my way. You know what I mean? Sometimes they're going to go against you when it's a clear goal in your mind. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, you know what I mean? Let me know what you thought, but no real reason to stress either way, I think, about the goals being called back. There was also not really a lot of rough stuff tonight. Huh? Like, it wasn't a whole lot. And the last time, if you remember when these two teams were playing, like, Wilson was stirring it up. The Leafs were getting pretty agitated, right? And straight up, they just kind of didn't do that tonight. They just kind of didn't do that. And that's fine. Maybe something finally, set in that they're like, okay, you know what I mean? We got to really dial it in for the playoffs right now. We cannot risk stupid things. Suspensions, penalties, injuries, stuff like that. I think this might be one of the most injured Leafs teams heading into the playoffs I can recall in recent memory, I think. Between the players that are currently off the roster for long-term injuries, the players that are day-to-day, the players that are in the lineup but are coming off of injuries that we know they've had throughout the season, there's been so many injuries and so much drama with all that stuff this season. I just feel like it's been insane. It just feels weird, So, like, maybe they just want to chill out a little bit, right? Just play a more honest, a more straight-up game. So maybe both teams were kind of trying to do that. Either way, it was good for me. I hope it was good for you, I see a lot of good comments in there. I want to get to some of those. But before we really dive into the comments, again, I just want to thank you all for following along. I love to see that the conversation is moving in positive hockey-related discussions. That's really awesome. But thanks for the follows, the cheers and stuff like that Leslie loves setting off, and everybody else, right? All that stuff, it really helps. It really helps. The channel's growing. Subscribing on YouTube is helping me out right now. That's on the rise. On the rise on Instagram, guys. We're rolling into playoff time, so you know what I mean. Spread the word that we're all here to take over. We're all here to have a good time, and I'm so happy and thankful that you folks join me after these games. All right, so now to prove it, I want to hear what you're saying loud and clear. All right, let's get right into it. Right, let's focus in on it.